Berlin. So Berlin was a little different for our travel group because we were the last to get in. So most of the choir members had some time to explore the day they got there, but we got in very late, and so we had just the first part of the next morning to explore. I did sleep in because I needed some rest, had some jet lag, but got to see some things pretty quickly, as you'll see in this video. And then what was most memorable about Berlin was the concert. So before we left for Europe, Mac said to us, you know, you're used to getting standing ovations, and Europeans have very high standards for these things, so you should not expect that. He mentioned they have a tradition, if they really love something, to clap in unison, so we were hoping to hear that at some point, but I think we all went in knowing that the bar was high, that we needed to do our very best, and if they didn't stand up, they didn't mean they didn't love it. But that concert, there was a feeling like I have never felt in any performance in Tabernacle Choir, and I honestly don't know how to explain it. It just was like everyone, the performers, Mac, the audience was completely emotionally invested in the concert, and it just was this electric adrenaline feeling the whole time. I will never forget what that felt like. It was cloud nine, and definitely one of the highlights of my entire experience in the Tabernacle Choir. So that was pretty much the highlight of Berlin. And they gave us a standing ovation, and just, they did the unison clap, and they just wouldn't stop. And I think, I don't know, it just felt like, it kind of felt like payday after all of the work that we had put in. So it was a really amazing way to start the tour. I forgot one of the best parts about Berlin. Okay, so Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho is one of our songs for this tour, and it's super high energy, so fun, and Ryan has worked it really hard so that we didn't get set in our old habits of missing notes and not having rhythm and things, and he really just was raising the bar with this song in our rehearsals. So when we sing it in Berlin, it's never been that good since, I don't think, but it was just so together, so much energy, so much focus, and it felt like time stood still. And I still remember what Ryan's face looked like, and his, like, the way he was conducting. I'll never forget it, because he was just as into it as we were. Well, I guess we were probably just as into it as he was, thanks to his conducting. But it was so thrilling that right as soon as we cut off and the notes are still echoing through the hall, some guy in the audience just yelled, "Wow!" And everyone laughed. It was the best. I will never forget that.
We're here in Europe. Berlin. We're in Berlin.
Awesome. The audience was so great. Oh my gosh, that was the most special feeling ever, and they just wouldn't stop clapping for us. Mac wanted them to just stop.
I thought we should have done the second before.
Yeah, but they were just, I don't know, it was just a special feeling. So
Awesome concert.
So bus rides. That's one of the best parts of tour and one of the hardest parts. Hardest because they're very long sometimes, and sometimes they're in the middle of the night, which makes it a little bit more tricky to get the rest that we need. But this is one of my favorite things about tour because it's the one chance that we have to talk and to get to know each other and actually spend time with our friends not singing, which singing is awesome, but we don't get to be social very often. One of our bus rides was on the way to Berlin, or from Berlin to Munich, and it was one of the longest ones, and somehow my friends and I, we didn't even know, but there was a double-decker bus and we got the front seat in the top, so we had the best view the entire time. I think that was the only time we got lucky enough to have those seats because people caught on, and it was everyone wanted to have that seat to be able to see beautiful Europe. But hey, if there was one chance for us to have those seats on the bus, it was that one, because it just was so surreal driving through the countryside and seeing these windmills and just the architecture of the buildings and being able to just laugh and talk. We played the alphabet game. That was actually one of my favorite parts of this tour, being able to enjoy that long bus ride together. So.
Hey, read me some German.
Willkommen in der Wohlfühlenzone. Bei uns bekommen Sie rund 190 Mal das Gleiche. Besten Service.
I was just sneezing and I tried to stop it. That's all. I'm still looking for F.
F over here. There's all these F's.
H and Ed Mobile.
Oh, there we go. Cafe.
G and
I am Milden Schotting.
I'm an I. I'm 11.
Who's on the J? I'm looking for